My husband served in Vietnam. He passed in 2001.
Nancy Steiger, a longtime Honor Flight Chicago volunteer, is the driving force behind the growth of Operation Education. What began as an effort inviting school kids to write thank you letters to veterans has now developed into something much larger in scope.
Honor Flight Chicago, since we started, has always gotten letters from schools that the kids have written for our veterans when they fly. And that's kind of been the way we've connected with schools, but we realized that there was so much more we could do with our veterans and their stories, and so much more the kids could learn about the veterans. So we decided to step out beyond mail call, reach out to all the schools that had already done mail call, and ask them if they would help us with having veterans visit, if we could work on some curriculum for them, and from there it expanded, working with classrooms, veterans, teachers, Veterans Day and beyond.
And where is it now in terms of numbers of schools and kids who are involved?
We now have 157 schools that we have an ongoing relationship with. For some of them, it's mail call 2 or 3 times a year. For some of them, it's Veterans Day assemblies, and we provide veterans. But for many of them, it's actual classroom projects where the teachers will take the information we have about the veterans who fly with us, share it with the students either through the videos we've done or the interviews we've written, or asking us to have community veterans visit the classroom. And then the teachers and the students decide what they want to do with what they've learned. They can do art projects, they can do creative writing projects, they can do performance projects. We like the schools to decide. We give them a resource and we let them decide what they want to do with it. Originally when I started, I thought it was important to share the stories of our veterans to younger generations so they could learn the value of patriotism. Is a lovely word, but service, I think, is even a bigger word. Service to community, whether it's joining the military or whether it's just going out and helping those who need help, which is what our servicemen have done over the years. And so initially I thought we'd inspire the students and give them some living history. But we've realized that our veterans are inspired as well. And so for many of the veterans who don't have regular contact with students, they've come to realize that there's a generation or two behind them that are really going to make a difference in the world. And I think they understand why their service mattered.
Operation Education is important because, to me, it's that critical link of what Honor Flight Chicago does with veterans and students. So making that bridge between the two, having students hear these stories and getting these experiences of being able to understand a little bit more about a veteran's story, that it's not just war, that there's lives around it, there's impacts that happen to the families at home, that there's careers that are after the service. So Operation Education is really that transition to allow schools to have resources provided for them, have those connections and that ability to get veterans to their schools for their students without trying to find them on their own. We can do that work for them, and we can continue the Honor Flight Chicago mission. We get to have this Day of Honor continue throughout a school year, throughout the next years of their lives, and being able to retell their experiences and their stories from it. We've crossed the 150 school mark. Right now we are at about 20 teachers, both current and retired, on our team. We have curriculum or units geared towards PE. We have ideas that social studies teachers could use. We have ways that you could bring math in. So trying to really bring in teachers that bring a different perspective and see what do we have, how do we utilize the materials, and then distribute those out, and how do we get schools to start sharing what we have. The ultimate goal would be that it's this flow between both, that schools are sharing, we can highlight how the schools are utilizing things that we have, as well as keep providing and creating resources for those schools.